Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I got a comment on a video yesterday that said, hey, can you make a one-shot first phase of KNULL for all characters that can do it at stage 1? And I thought about it and I was like, you know what, Tushia, that's a really good idea, but we're gonna mix it up just a little bit. Now, we all know tier 3 characters are gonna have a much harder time one-shotting because they have to build up to their tier 3 skill. For some characters that can take 2 rotations, for other characters that can actually take close to 3 rotations. So you know what, rather than doing all characters that can do KNULL stage 1 to 9, because there's like 60 of them, this video would be an hour, I thought, why don't we just do the transcended characters? So starting us off with Super Giant, we're gonna see here if we can one-shot the first phase of KNULL, and yes we can! As former President Obama once said, yes we can. So bada bing, bada boom. There you go, first one-shot. Let's see who's next. So you're probably wondering, can the other members of the Black Order one-shot the first phase? Well, I got news for you. Yes, they can, I think. And there you go! Cull Obsidian can spin to win on the first phase of Stage 9 with a CTP of energy. So I know what you're thinking, Black Dwarf and Supergiant can do it, but can Corvus one-shot Stage 9? Let's find out. Ooh, he almost didn't have enough gas. I had to throw the third skill in there, but with a CTP of energy and like 7 Odin's Blessings, Corvus can one-shot Stage 9. Okay, up next we have the Human Touch, and now like Supergiant, he actually has a CTP of Judgment. Can he one-shot the first phase? Oh, yes he can. And I don't know if you caught it, but KNULL had like 39 bars, and then it was just gone, and the bar disappeared. I don't know if there was some lag or some visual glitches, but yes, he can absolutely one-shot. We've switched up the support, however, to Thing and Valkyrie, because of course Proxima is not going to give him any support. On the flip side, can Thing one-shot with his CTP of Insight? And no, the answer is no, he cannot. Maybe he can with like a Rage or something like that, but with his current CTP of Insight, he is not even close. He barely did 5 bars. And that is with his whatever percent buff he has on the 3rd skill applying before his 6th skill. Now, a lot of you guys gave me a hard time about Invisible Woman's rotation, so I will try to do it properly here. It is 3 cancel 6, cancel 4, cancel 5. And I think I did it right there. And no, with a 120 or a 160 proc, with a 160 proc obelisk, she cannot. However, she did get a lot closer than Thing got. She got down to the second phase, the second part of the first phase, the second cage. So my suspicions are maybe with an energy she could get a lot closer or possibly do it. Now, no insult to Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, but I'm not going to do any other transcended characters that I don't have at least a proc obelisk on. So from the defenders, we're actually only going to be checking out whether or not Iron Fist can one-shot the first phase, and it looks like he can't. He was very, very close, but unfortunately he couldn't. Now, I did not do the 4th skill. I did 3 cancel 6, cancel 5. Now, that is because notoriously Iron Fist has, very difficult, or sometimes difficult, can be inconsistent with his rotation. Maybe if I had added the 4th skill in, the added chain hit damage from the dragon coming through, on top of looking really cool, would have pushed him over the edge. So he can't quite do it, but maybe with a couple more tries, maybe with a bit more luck on the crits, or maybe with just a lucky rotation where the 4th skill doesn't proc the energy early, you could get it done. Moving on to the X-Men transcended characters, Gambit is the first one up. Can Gambit one-shot the first phase? And it looks like he cannot. Wow. I was actually so surprised that he couldn't do it that I actually redid this 3 times, and this is as close as I've ever gotten. So, wow, he can't one-shot the first phase. Dang. Can X23 with a CTP of Rage one-shot the first phase of the fight? There's no way she can do this. She's actually not getting much further. She got just a little bit further with a Rage than Invisible Woman got with a 160 proc obelisk. So that just goes to show you, if you can't cancel skills as a combat type, your burst damage is going to suffer. Up next, we got Valkyrie, and she was actually introduced as a transcendable character in January's update, and she was, infamously the only one of the 3 who had a good reworked uniform to go along with her transcendence. Now, she cannot one-shot the phase, but she's actually not that far off from like Gambit. She's like 4 bars away from Gambit, which is pretty impressive. Also, RIP to Sif and Heimdall. Moving on to 2020, we're going into last year now. We start off with Ares, and Ares, just like the other two members of the Dark Avengers update, has a pretty cracked awakening skill, which is good for about 8 bars, which is not bad at all, but it's definitely not. And I believe he has an obelisk. Yeah, he's just got a regular 200 proc obelisk. It's not bad, but it's not enough to get him to one-shot. Up next, we have a Bullseye. And Bullseye is going to be the second member of this, nefarious trio of the Dark Avengers. And let's see if with his CTP of Rage, he can one-shot. He cannot. And he's actually not even as close. He's about as close as Valkyrie was, both with a Rage. Last but not least for the Dark Avengers, of course, you have Moonstone. And there's no question in my mind, this is going to be a very satisfying, very effective one-shot. And one of the fastest one-shots. That's a 6-second. When his HP bar disappeared, which signals the end of the one-shot, it actually said 456. So on top of being able to one-shot very satisfactorily, she can also do it in possibly the fastest time. Up next, we've got Gwen M, and Gwen M, let's see. I did forget to do the 5th skill, but I'm not quite sure it's going to matter either way. She's got a regular 200 proc obelisk, and she's able to muster about 7 to 8 bars, which is not bad, similar to other characters who have obelisks, similar to Ares and stuff like that, but definitely not enough to one-shot. Up next, we have Spider-Woman. Let's see if with the CTP of Judgment, she can actually do a little bit more damage than Gwen M. And actually, she cannot. Despite having a CTP of Judgment, she's actually doing less damage. This would technically be a 2-shot because I've done 2 rotations. So she actually did less damage than Gwen M with a Judgment versus Gwen M's regular obelisk, which I think comes down to the fact that she doesn't have accumulation, or if she does, it's not as good as Gwen M's 3rd skill, accumulation. Up next, we've got Moon Knight. Moon Knight, the only one... Moon Knight is next, and he is the only one of the 3 from this update who was actually able to avoid the Kiss of Death, which is the, bad rework without a uniform. He can't one-shot, and he actually can't even 2-shot. That actually comes down to the fact that his awakening skill doesn't have that much damage. Still an amazing character, I would say, even by today's standards, he's still good, but his awakening just lasts really long. If you cancel it, you don't really get the damage, and it just doesn't have enough damage. It does way less damage than current awakening skills that we've seen in the game this year. Up next, we've got Medusa coming in, the big Dusa. Can she one-shot with the CTP of Rage? No, she cannot. But she gets pretty close. I gotta say, she gets him down to near 40 bars, which is okay. But she has 3 supports, so you have to take that into consideration as well. Up next, we've got Beta Ray Bill. And this may not be in order, but Beta Ray Bill is just such a cool transcendent character, and we haven't seen a one-shot in a while. So I just wanted to see one man, and oh, he's so close. No, Beta. No, Beta. He's so close to being able to one-shot. It's criminal. He could probably one-shot, If you retake that, if I threw on a few more Odin's Blessings, I'm sure Beta Ray Bill is knocking on that doorstep for the one-shot. Last but not least, we've got Amadeus Cho in the building, one of the earliest transcendable characters. Let's see if his 3 cancel 6 combo can really put a dent into Null with a CTP of energy. Well, it's not quite enough, but it's actually not bad. He got him down about 10 bars, 11 bars, and I think he could do a little bit more. Up next, we've got Dr. Octopus, and I actually have not played with Dr. Octopus for a long time, but let's give him a shake here. He still has a CTP of energy. Not quite able to get there, but not bad for a character who is now over a year old, able to get to the 2nd cage with just a CTP of energy. Honestly, he still kind of holds it down. His 1 to 5 damage is really low, but he still has one of the best transcendent skills in the game. It looks gorgeous. And yeah, that damage, when you apply the damage proc from the 3rd skill from his uniform bonus, actually kind of still slaps, but it's definitely not enough for a one-shot. So there you have it. That is the list of all of the transcendent characters that I think would even be able to come close to one-shotting phase 1. Obviously, we've skipped over quite a few at the end here. Red Guardian, Red Skull, the Warriors of the Sky. But let's be honest, like Wolverine, like Ant-Man, we just sort of quietly know in our heads that they don't really have enough juice, or they're meant for other game modes like PvP, and that's why they're not being featured in this video, because we don't really want to, you know, embarrass them or anything like that. So if you like this video, hit me up in the comments down below. If this video gets, let's say, 3,000 likes, I will do this again for all of the tier 3 characters in the game, because I have them all unlocked pending Ebony Maw coming to the game. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.